Hello and welcome back to a sit down chat podcast with Matthew Pullan, also known as Running Through Cancer. And today it is series 6, and we're going to be talking about radiotherapy and mask wearing, planning for radiotherapy, how it feels during radiotherapy. I'm just thinking we're going to cover the whole lot, really. This was supposed to be 2 or 3 episodes, but I thought why not just dive into one, see where that takes us, then that'll lead us nicely onto the next episode. So let's get into it. So radiotherapy, as we found out in the last video, I needed because I have a tumour on my brain, and they didn't really expect it to work, but it has worked quite well so far, and that's around a year later, which is good. And I'll just start from the start. So I ended up with a different doctor for radiotherapy who specialises in radiotherapy. That's always a bonus, that you have someone that knows what they're doing. And she's so lovely, but after my making of the mask, which is basically just they put something like a warm plastic over you, and feels quite nice actually, and they mould it around your face so they can keep you still on the table, and I had that done and I was absolutely fine. I had marking up on the mask, which is just a CT scan, and they stick little stickers on you, on the mask, not on you, but on the mask. And that was alright. I mean, now I've also had spinal planning as well, so with the spine they just tattoo you to make sure you're in the right place. Well, it's a lot easier with the brain. It's just one mask, stickers, and I was happier with that. So that was the start of the day for radiotherapy planning on my brain. And then because we hadn't seen the radiotherapist, or sorry, the oncologist radiotherapist, she came and introduced herself, or we ended up in an appointment with her, which was a very eventful appointment, which I think I spoke about in my last video. We met her. She basically said the tumour spread to your brain stem, and not a lot was said from there. It's like signed all the forms and get the radiotherapy done, which I got done, and I'm glad I signed the form, because what other option do you have really than sign the form? I mean, there is an option, but there isn't really, is there? Like, there's much higher risk of not going through with it than going through with it. And I accept that, but I also accept the hospital will do that, will do the best to support me. And if there was no trust, I obviously wouldn't have accepted, but I feel like I have quite a lot of trust with the doctors there. So, onto radiotherapy. My brother did some fundraising during it, which I'm not going to say now, because I'm going to get him in the next episode to talk about it. We raised a lot of money for charity, but radiotherapy, you basically lied on a bed, and they put the mask that you had made previously in the radiotherapy planning. They use that every single day, and they put that, and like strap you in onto the table by your head. So I can imagine why people would be a bit scared of that, but I thought it was quite therapeutic. Firstly, they just lock you in, and then they're like, we'll see you later." And I always found it hard when they left because you knew somebody wasn't there, but there was always a sound from the machine where you knew it was doing something, so you knew that you were getting the treatment, and you knew you were right to get the treatment. I don't want to say right, but you knew something was happening, so you were assured that you were getting the best treatment to the right standard. The radiologists are lovely. They always have a chat with me. They knew me by name and stuff because I went 30 days. They're just so lovely. Just need to be nice. And they'll be nice because at the end of the day, it's not their fault you're there. It's not your fault you're there. Just a bit of respect for each other and be nice. That's the message. Be nice. I also remember during radiotherapy, you have like these scans at the start. The machine scans you and then does the radiotherapy. The radiotherapy itself only takes about 90 seconds. So it's the scan that takes ages. It's just a big thing that goes. If you've never seen a radiotherapy machine, it's like one of those rides that you'd get at a theme park that goes around a bit like a Ferris wheel, but goes upside down and stuff. That would scan you. And it would also go around to administer the radiotherapy after you'd been scanned, but you'd know when the radiotherapy was being given because you could hear it. It was like just a little clicky noise. It wasn't anything bad. And I'm sure you're all wondering the side effects of radiotherapy. Tiredness, definitely. But I always got through that by exercising, and coffees were good. But I don't think I had many side effects. I did get dry skin, so we used some cream, which I'd probably ask, if you're going through it, I'd probably ask somebody about. They probably can suggest better than me, so I'm not going to suggest anything. And I just try to keep the area that were doing radiotherapy on nice and smooth and soft. I remember I had to change my shampoo as well to like the baby stuff, so it wasn't as sensitive on the skin, because where I had my scar was still quite sensitive. So I just used the baby stuff to make sure my hair was clean. And being 17, that was obviously quite hard. Actually, I was 18. Was it 17 or 18? I've had a birthday since then. I was 17, so using baby stuff might be quite depressing, but it's got to be done. But any side effects you'll be told about in advance, so like you could feel sick, you could be constipated, so on. But they'll have you covered. And I felt really covered. Like, I took a few sick tablets. I was also on chemo at the time to help the cells become more radio resistant, which was good. Not resistant, what would it be? Transmittant? You see, people know the science, I don't, but they'd be more reactive to the radiation, I'll just say it that way. And yeah, that's pretty much radiotherapy for you. I'll also mention I could hear it, which I've already said, and I could taste and see it, which apparently people can't usually do. Like, I must just be a radioactive boy, because I could see all the rays that were going into me, and they're like, you're not supposed to be able to see that. But I remember from the first time when I was 3 and I had radiotherapy, I could see them, so it wasn't really anything different for me. Whereas they were like, it's such a big thing. I was more like, it's not a big thing because I can get used to it. The smell is what I remember the most. I used to wake up smelling the smells and be like scared and anxious, because let's be honest, it's not a very nice thing to have to go through at any age. It was awful, but I always thought I need to get through this, and I was always counting down to finish the 30 sessions of radiotherapy that I did have, which was 5 days a week for 6 weeks if we do the maths. But overall, I'm glad I had radiotherapy, and it's not something you want to do, but it's an experience, and if you have to do it, because they're doing it to try and help and support you. Although it might not be pleasant at the time, there's a lot of nurses, doctors wanting to support you. So I think you should even have a physiotherapist as well during it. So you should be fine, and they're so supportive. And even if you're on chemo, you've got sickness tablets. So I mean, even on radiotherapy, you've got sickness tablets. You'll always be told the side effects, and I was like, I need to accept it and get on with it, and so I did, and that seemed to do better than what they thought it would. So there's always higher chance of risk without doing it than doing it, and that's what I take from it. And just got to get there, have a nice conversation with the radiologist, because it is quite nice to see people every day, and people don't see that. Like, they think it's a chore going to the hospital, and yes, it might be, but people are there to care for you, and you're there to get treatment. So I'm always like, just be nice, because it's never their fault. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. They're doing the good thing of helping you. And I know people won't agree with it, but it comes across a bit selfish if you're not being nice to them, because they deserve more for what they're doing for you. They are, in my eyes, saving your life. I mean, it might be like palliative, but they're keeping you alive and comfortable for longer. And that's how it should be. And I think I've also forgot every Wednesday I had to see my oncologist radiotherapist, and she would just see how I was and check through what was happening, and you'd get a scan every week and stuff, but that was done within your radiotherapy session. So you're always checked upon and looked after. So if there's one thing you can take from this podcast today, it's just be nice to everyone, because some people have the best interests, and You need to acknowledge that. So, I know it became a bit of a rant at the end there, I didn't mean that. Thank you for listening to a sit down podcast with me, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I know I'm enjoying recording them. It's giving me something to do, and hopefully it's giving other people help. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff. And until the next one, life is terminal and it's our job to live it.